welcome back to Roy's Studio Adventures. Today we've got something special. We're hanging out with the incredibly talented George Tirpko, and he's got his hands on a true classic, the Martin 000 15M acoustic guitar. This all-mahogany beauty is known for its warm tone and vintage charm, but how does it hold up in a real musician's hands? George is about to take it for a spin, give us a taste of what it can do, and share his honest thoughts. You're in the right place if you're passionate about music, creativity, and supporting local talent. Hit that subscribe and bell button and join our growing music lovers and creators community.
So this is a beautiful guitar that my dear sweet friend Bob at Central Music allowed me to take out of the store, and I'm just delighted with it. This is a lovely parlor style North American built guitar, all mahogany, and it's just a sweet instrument with beautiful action. It's got a shorter scale between here and here, which is something that a lot of guitar players perhaps aren't fully aware of, but the little bit shorter scale gives the string a kind of a liveliness that makes it a little easier to play. The longer scale, like a Strat, it's a little tougher. That's why they want to put those 09s on the Strat all the time. But this is a lovely voice, beautiful plex treatment on the neck for the intonation. The intonation is very, very tell how the mahogany really helps it to resonate, but the intonation is really beautiful. So it sounds really, really sweet. Now, I wouldn't bring this guitar to a bluegrass jam. It doesn't have the volume, the punch that a bigger body guitar does, or a longer scale does. But it's a lovely guitar to play. This one doesn't have any pickups on it. It would be really interesting to study up what kind of pickup system would really bring out the best voice. And of course, that would give you a lot more horsepower.
Did you notice any standout qualities in the sustain or the resonance?
Yes, tremendous sustain. It really does hold and sing. As you can tell.
How does it respond to different playing styles, like finger picking versus strumming?
It holds up really well to pretty heavy strumming. As I said earlier, I don't think I would take it to a bluegrass jam unless it was amplified, but like you can... So that's pretty good, and then like the bass line. The bass line holds up really well, the strumming. Nice.
What kind of music or setting do you think this would shine the most in?
I could use this guitar in a solo guitar situation, which I do a lot of, where I sit and I entertain in upper class dining establishments, wineries, that kind of thing. It really holds itself well in all those situations, I'm sure.
Was there anything about the neck shape or setup that stood out while playing?
This neck is very, very slim, so for an individual, for a player who doesn't like a big chunky neck, this is absolutely the guitar that you're going to fall in love with. It's a nice, I think they refer to it as the low C profile, so it's really slim. It feels like an electric guitar, like a rock guitar. It's that nice to play.
Would you change anything about the guitar if you could?
No. I love all my little children for their own care. No, I wouldn't change a thing.
Outside of the pickups.
Yeah, there are no pickups in this guitar as it stands, so it would be a real challenge to try a few different pickup systems to get the best sound. And you know yourself, after having played in different venues, that it sounds really nice in your room. It sounds really nice in your music room. It sounds really nice in your basement. But you get into the hubbub of a dining establishment, and I couldn't see using this guitar in a loud bar, for example. But a quieter club would really shine.
How do you think this guitar would perform in a recording environment?
It would be ideal because it sounds big.
If someone was on the fence about this model, what would you tell them?
You can get bigger guitars, they're going to be tougher to play. You can get louder guitars, they're not going to be as sweet. They may not sustain. You're going to be... I think you could probably put several different sets of strings on this guitar and still have it, a pleasant guitar to play. You could toughen them up a little bit. I think what they've got on here now are 12 to 54s, which is a pretty heavy string, but with the shorter scale, they're still a little bit easier to play.
I guess ultimately, to judge, you'd have to try one out.
Absolutely. When I went to the store, I went to the store, Central Music, by the way.
In Welland, Ontario?
In Welland, Ontario. It's my mecca. They went like this and said, here, try these over here. This was the one I picked out of 4 triple odds. There was one that was bigger, all Martins. There was one that was bigger and a little more money. At this price, are we allowed to mention the price, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You'll finish up with taxes with this guitar around the $3,000 mark, which is a little bit more than what the average player may like to put out for a guitar. But this is a lot of guitar. This is the one that I picked out of the 4 because it had the sweet shimmering sound that I like.
So you've never played one of these?
Never played one of these, Martins, although I have a triple O at home. And it's a substantially different sounding guitar. It has a spruce top and rosewood sides and back. And it's a different sounding guitar. It doesn't have this shimmer. It's got a little more bass.
So if you're looking for a guitar, would you put that in your shopping cart?
Yes, sir. In a minute. Have to ask my wife first.
What was that? There's never enough guitars?
Yeah. Honey, how many guitars do you need? One more.
Well, George, thanks so much for being on the show.
It's a delight with you, Roy.
Before we leave, do you have any gigs you want to share with us coming up?
Yes. Playing with one of my favorite sidekick buddies, Gil Hicks. We're going to be at Stroon Winery in Niagara-on-the-Lake doing our thing, which is acoustic instrumental guitar, and gypsy jazz, modern jazz, some crossover into pop, but it's a really nice kind of a thing. So
now, for this event, do you have to buy tickets, or can you just walk in?
Reservations are recommended. This is one of these fancy places that you really want to take your special gal to.
That wraps up our session with George Tirpko and that beautiful Martin guitar. Big thanks to George for the vibe, the insight, and those smooth tones. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a classic acoustic, do us a solid. Like, comment, and subscribe to Roy Studio Adventures for more artist features, gear tests, and behind-the-scenes music. Remember, be good to each other, go out, see a live band, and until next time.